dog hair. Dog hair everywhere. Hey everyone, Nincon here from the Hyperactive Bookworm. Turns out it took me 2 days. Yes, 2 days to start reading something that wasn't in my made to be read list. And that book was the 4th book in the Pandora English Series by Tara Moss. I'm going to go through the series as a whole. There's 4 books so far, and I believe there will be more. I'm hoping there will be more. So let's see if I can get these in order. There's no, there's not. There's the Blood Countess, the Spider Goddess, the Skeleton Key, and the Cobra Goddess. Cobra Queen. Cobra Queen. And they're great. The whole series is steeped in ancient cultures, in myths. Pandora is 18 to begin with, in the first book, and she escapes a small country town, and she gets invited to come live in Big Apple with her great aunt. You know, coming of age, very much a coming of age sort of story. And when she's there, she lives in a town called Spectre, and she discovers this whole paranormal world and this whole world about herself, about her family that she never really knew. Right from the start, you know that Pandora English has known things that you shouldn't be able to know, specifically about the dead. But, you know, her father was always poo-pooing her about it, stop making things up, exaggeration. But her parents died when she was very young, 11, I believe it was, and she's had to live with her aunt. So her world is sort of a bit turmoil. The Blood Countess. So the Blood Countess, it took me a while to get into it, more so because I'd recently read Tara Moss's Billy Walker, Dead Man's Switch, adult, that kind of thing, and I hadn't actually realised that Pandora English was a young adult series, so it took me a bit to get my head around it. I don't read a lot of young adult, but I really enjoyed it, and Pandora's internal dialogues were quite entertaining. It's all first person, so it's interesting to see her perspective of things and how she thinks. But one of my favourite lines from the first book is, "This woman was Medusa and could turn me to stone if I met her eyes." Like, it's all those little things. The way she thinks is seeped around that knowledge that her mum gave her. Her mum was an archaeologist, so it's totally makes sense that that's how she would think about things. But I also really love the little details that Tara's gone into, the other ideas of myths that we've all been taught, and the research she's done is obvious. I laughed so hard the first time she mentioned the fact that Sesame Street with Count Dracula, they got the vampire myth right, as fledgling vampires are obsessed with counting. Mazikeen, over here. Mazzy. Yes, you just want love. Okay, so that was really fun and entertaining. The second book I enjoyed more. Tara's details and descriptions of every outfit that by the end of book 1 I was a little sick of. They're not nearly as prevalent in book 2. There's enough to still remind you that Pandora is obsessed with clothes. Like, that's such a huge thing in the books, but it didn't feel as weighed or laden, which I enjoyed. So the second book was the Spider Goddess, and I don't like spiders all that much. And even though it's called the Spider Goddess, I still had total creepy moments where I was like, brushing imaginary fur off of me and scared that they were legs. So that was really cool. And yeah, it just, the cultural references were really fun too. Like a line that says, danced awkwardly about the workshop like Mick Jagger on Bad Acid, and yeah, and just the entertaining humor of Pandora's internal dialogue is just great. I mean, book 2 has lines like, "There was nothing quite like the ennui of a depressed young vampire." So yeah, and this line just, I could feel the paralysis of her spider kiss, and that's pretty intense. So yeah, and then we move on to the skeleton key, which is more about the actual house of Pandora's great aunts that she's living in, and the history behind it, and it's fascinating. I'm not sure how much Tara Moss made up in the sense of the history aspects of it, but I would be interested to know. I need to look that up, but it's really fascinating, especially if you're an Addams Family fan, which I absolutely am. So yeah, the book just gets so much better, and the books get better as you go along, and she really comes into herself. And this last one, the Cobra Queen, it was so fabulous. Egyptian. It's all about ancient Egypt and gods and goddesses and mummies and pharaohs, and it's delightful. I really, really like the development of Pandora in the series. She goes from quite a young, naive 18-year-old who seems not stupid, just unwilling to believe herself, to someone who starts to realize her own power, her own strength, that true coming of age sort of steps. And yeah, I think it's a great series of coming of age, young adult, but there's so much more into it. There's rich history, and I love anything to do with archaeology and ancient cultures. It's like a warm fuzzy blanket to me. So it's really, really fantastic. I can't wait to read more of it. But yeah, so give it a try. I actually read them on audio. My partner actually got them, and I was like, yeah, they're there. Let's have a go. And I actually want to read the books, not the audio, because specifically for the third book, I really struggled with the audio, which I believe I mentioned in the previous video. And it can really take away or create a book, but there's also something beautiful about being able to actually get through books while you're busy doing other things. The third book, I struggled with the narration. The fourth book was a lot easier with the narration, a lot better natural flow, and you felt the character. You didn't feel like you were reading it, you were listening to a narration. You felt like you were in the book. So that's good. So that's my kind of sum up. Overall, I would give the series a 4 stars. Some books, half-star either side of it. But yeah, overall, the series is a 4-star series, and I really hope Tara does write a 5th book, because I'll be very interested in reading it. Mazikeen, yes, say goodbye. Say good, not to me. Yeah, say goodbye. Yes. Thanks so much for listening, and if you like the video, click like, and if you want to see more, please subscribe. And let me know, have you read the series? Are you interested in reading the series? Are you someone who likes extreme details of clothing in books? Because I'd love to know. It could just be my personal taste. So yeah, let me know. And subscribe. Thanks, y'all. Bye. Say bye. Bye. Say, no? Okay. Bye.